Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? I pray you're doing well. I sure pray you're doing well. And welcome. Now I'm just gonna do the one for tomorrow and send that one. Alright. Anyway, sorry about that. How you guys doing? I pray you're doing well. Welcome to Reading the Whole Bible in a Year with Mr. Jean. And for our day 25th, we're gonna be reading Genesis 49 to 50, and we're also gonna be reading Exodus 1. We're just gonna finish the first book of the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses. So we're gonna finish that and hit the second one. Anyway, if you guys wondering why I'm wearing this, my dad came and had a talk with me today because of the last two video, the last video, the one I was wearing the undershirt, the wife beater on, and my video has been crooked and all that stuff, and I had a talk with me, and right now I want to go to sleep, but I have to redo the video and do it properly. So therefore, I'm wearing this. Said if you're doing God work, you're best doing it right. So here I am doing it right. Well, doing my best to do it right. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. I have to wake up at 2 in the morning. Anyway, it's not well. Let's do God work. Genesis 49. Jacob last word to his sons. And Jacob called his son and said, Gather together, that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last day. Gather together and hear your sons of Jacob, and listen to Israel your father. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might in the beginning of my strength, the excellence of dignity and the excellence of power. Unstable as water, you shall not excel, because you went up to your father's bed, then you defiled it, and went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Instruments of cruelty are in their dwelling place. Let not my soul enter the council. Let not my honor be united to the assembly. For in the anger they slew a man, and in the self-willing they hamstrung an ox. Cursed be the anger, for it is fierce, and the wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, you are he whom your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He bows down, he lies down as a lion. And as a lion, who shall rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes, and to him shall be the obedience of the people, binding his donkey to a vine, and his donkey colt to a choice vine. He washes his garment in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun shall dwell by the heavens of the sea, and it shall become a heavens for sheep, and his borders shall adjoin Sidon. Isaac is a strong donkey, lying down between two burdens. He saw that the rest was good, and that the land was pleasant. He bore his shoulder to bear a burden, and become a band of slaves. Dan shall judge his people, and as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, a viper by the path, that bites the horse's heel, so that its rider shall fall backward. I have waited for you, for your salvation, O Lord. God, a troop shall tramp upon him. but it shall triumph at last. Bread from Asher shall be rich, and it shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a deer let loose, and he used beautiful words. Joseph is a fruitful broad, and a fruitful broad by a well. His branches run over the wall. The archers have bitterly grieved him, shot at him, and hit him. But his bow remained in strength, and the arm of his hand were made strong, by the hand of the mighty God of Jacob. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, by the God of your father, who will help you, and by the Almighty who will bless you with blessing of heavens above, blessing of the deep that lies beneath, blessing of the breast and of the womb. The blessing of your fathers have excelled the blessing of my ancestors, up to the utmost bound by the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separate from his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning it shall devour the prey, and at night it shall divide the spoil. And all these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what the Father spoke to them. And he blessed them, and he blessed each one according to his own blessing. Jacob death and burial. Then he charged them and said to them, I am to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite. In the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which Abraham brought to the field of Ephron the Hittite as a possession for a burial place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave that is there were purchased from the sons of Eph. And when Jacob had finished commanding his son, he drew his feet up in the bed and breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Chapter 50. Then Joseph fell on his father's face and wept over him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servant, the physician, to embalm his father. So the physician embalmed Israel. 40 days were required for him, for such are the days required for those who are embalmed. And the Egyptian mourned for him 70 days. Now the day of his mourning were past. Joseph spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak in the hearing of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Behold, I am dying. In my grave which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan, there you shall bury me. Now therefore, please let me go up and bury my father, and I will come back. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear. So Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, and the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, as well as all the house of Joseph, his brothers and his father's house. Only the little one, their flocks and their herds, they shall live in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots, horsemen, and it was a very great gathering. Then they came to the threshing floor of Attah, which is beyond the Jordan, and they mourned there with a great and very solemn lamentation. He observed 7 days of the mourning of his father. And when the inhabitant of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning of the threshing floor of Attah, they said, This is a deep mourning for the Egyptian. Therefore his name was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond the Jordan. So his sons did for him just as he had commanded them. For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, which Abraham brought to the field from Ephron, the Hittite, as a property for a burial place. And after he had buried his father, Joseph returned to Egypt, he and his brothers, and all who went with him to bury his father. Joseph reassured his brothers. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, Perhaps Joseph will hate us, and may actually repay us for all the evil which we did to him. So they sent messenger to Joseph, saying, Before your father died, he commanded, saying, Thus you shall say to Joseph, I beg you, please forgive the trespass of your brothers and their sin, for they did evil to you. Now please, forgive the trespass of the servant of the God of your father. And Joseph wept when they spoke to him. Then his brother also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we are your servant. Joseph said to them, Do not be afraid, for I am in the place of God. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. Now therefore, do not be afraid, I will provide for you and your little ones. And he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Therefore Joseph. So Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's household. And Joseph lived 110 years. Joseph saw Ephraim's children to the third generation. The children of Machir to the sons of Manasseh were also brought up to Joseph's knee. And Joseph said to his brethren, I am dying, but God will surely visit you and bring you out of this land to the land of which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph said, took an oath from the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from there. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in the coffin of Egypt. Final chapter, new book, the second book of Moses called Exodus. Chapter 1. Israel suffering in Egypt. Now they are the name of the children of Israel who came to Egypt, each man in his household, come with Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Isaiah, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. All those who were descendants of Jacob were 70%, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, all his brothers and all that generation. But the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, multiplying and grew exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, Look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply and it happen, in the event of war, when they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Therefore they set taskmaster over them to afflict them with a burden, and they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom, and Ramses. But the more they afflict them, the more they multiply and grow, and they were in dread of the children of Israel. So the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar, in brick, and in all manners of service in the field. All the service in which they had them serve was with rigor. Then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwife, of whom the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, When you do the duties of midwife for the Hebrew woman, and sit them on the birth stool, if it is a son, then you shall kill him. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwife feared God, and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. So the king of Egypt called the midwife and said to them, Why have you done this thing, and saved the male children alive? And the midwife said to Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and give birth before the midwives come to them. Therefore God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and grew very mighty. And so it was, because the midwife feared God, and he proved provide household for them. Excuse me? So Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, Every son who born you shall cast into the river, and every daughter you shall save alive. Amen. Thank you guys for being with me today. And hopefully you guys are okay with the change I'm trying to make. I'm trying to listen to what my father say. Trying to be better, more professional. Anyway, pray for me. I pray for you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.